If DSP spent less time churning his own butter pre-live stream, he may have actually learned how to play the games he criticizes. Or it may be equally as possible that his pancake batter dried to most of the controller, making it impossible to use the L2 trigger. Either way, he's the prime example of why breastfeeding your 35-year-old child is inherently a poor decision. Now, we were all kids at one point, and I'm sure we've got a foggy recollection of that one husky, airheaded kid with a speech impediment and soulless eyes, who himself and his parents defended to no end was the same age and intelligence level as all the other kids in class, except he was at least 1.5 feet taller than even the teacher, and he sat at his desk chewing the lead off of pencils. You may even remember his social skills rivaling that of Helen Keller's, or his proclivity for looming over everyone else at the lunch table and willing you to lend him your copy of Final Fantasy VII, even though you're sure his family's net worth is about the quarter of the price of a used PlayStation console from a secondhand dealer. Well, this is what he looks like all grown up. Do you feel old yet? Okay, so as it turns out, his family isn't legally poor enough to qualify as Alabama natives. But he does fancy himself an internet tough guy, and I'd wager to bet he could even beat low-tier twat in a fight. Not that I'm trying to instigate it, but I would pay money to see it. Because as long as Darkside Dipshit's been around, he's been perpetuating Sigma Chad badass that bullies other gamers, even though his head's disproportionate to his DJ Qual's physique, and he looks like a fucking Nintendo Wii avatar. If contraception was a person, it would look like DarkSydePhil. Jeffrey Epstein took his own life out of fear of embarrassment if Phil's name ended up on his flight log. Phil regularly beats his meat before live streams because it's the only thing he can expect to beat that day. If Jimmy Savile had a chance to meet a young DSP, no child would have ever been assaulted. Phil's presence alone is the sole purpose behind the hatred of straight white men. And that being the case, I don't fucking blame them. But all that aside, his boasts include threatening people at events, taking on someone with a loaded firearm, and winning, beating a fellow gamer and professional player's ass and going as far as to schedule a fight with referees and everything, before quietly calling it off behind closed doors. He would, however, regularly attend tournaments, mostly to lose to the same people he was threatening just moments earlier, and genuinely just putting off that white girl that gets wasted before the party even starts vibe. You know, a genuine nuisance. As of EVO 2005, he would enter the competition with an open mind, new prospects, fiery determination, and still place fucking fourth. But, as Phil saw it, first in America. Because to Phil, it's not about being the best. He's content with being the smartest person in the special needs classroom. And as he should, because as a fellow short bus connoisseur, I need extra special help with an extra special audience to get this video nice and lubed for the analytics, so when they decide to fuck me, it won't hurt so goddamn much. Anywho, if you want to show your support, don't forget to like the video, share it around the workplace, except to Steve, he's a cunt, and gently tap that subscribe button, because if it's anything like the soft spot on my head. A quick backstory for people unfamiliar with Darkside Freeloader. Phil is the stereotypical man baby that's existed since hitting your children became frowned upon. And it shows, from how he talks about treating his parents, to how privilege and nepotism is quickly replaced with hard work and know-how in every single one of his goddamn stories. Phil lived with his parents, even into his late 20s, playing video games, and never capable of holding down long-term employment. Probably because nobody wants to do twice the work, while Phil stays at home to make a video about how he's saving the company billions. While incapable of taking care of himself physically and relying on his parents financially so that he can film himself playing video games for no money, to say that he was pulling mad bitches would only be plausible if he was keeping them chained up in his basement. Eventually, he did build up some popularity through an audience that I can only assume either felt sorry for the guy or just genuinely enjoyed watching someone that can make even Pow Envy look appealing by comparison. So it seems that any time during the early 2000s, you could easily walk into a place of business and possibly have a chance of seeing this piece of discarded foreskin behind the counter, as apparently DarkSydePhil was capable of holding down jobs for at least a limited period of time. Fuck, Phil could even give Jeff Bezos a run for his money, as he climbs the corporate ladder into a customer support position of a helicopter support company, working his way up the ranks, doing all the extra homework, and saving the company thousands upon millions of dollars, and improving their business model, all with his own can-do attitude and stellar work ethic. I'm kidding, of course. His father got him the job because no one wants to hire Steven Seagal's fart-huffing nephew. Wait, Why does helicopters and man babies feel so familiar? Oh yeah. As of Phil's time on this platform, he's been caught up in various controversies. From scamming his audience, complaining about games even when he doesn't understand how to play them, complaining about fellow YouTubers for being unfunny and bad at games. I know the feeling, Phil, you fucking retard. Creating false narratives that anyone with valid criticism of him are just haters. His incredibly racist jokes. His intense pre-stream leg scratching. He was just warming up to make sure his grip was nice and tight. Being too cheap and lazy to improve his content quality. Even a little. And of course, the Sons of Kojima. Because if the Power Rangers had Zed, Goku had Frieza, and One for All had All for One, Phil had the Sons of Kojima. And the sunlight, and grass, and empty calories, and his pocket pussy. The Sons of Kojima were a group formed and dedicated to the sole purpose of destroying Phil and his reputation. Or at least what reputation he didn't already destroy himself. Their leader, Fred Fucks, a man with a proclivity for being as stupid and arrogant as his so-called nemesis, would single-handedly destroy his own organization from the inside out, while Phil was still busy searching Ask Jeeves for a picture of Laura Croft's tits and wondering what it would be like to have friends. Honestly, this chapter in his timeline felt like those one-off segue episodes in cartoons where everyone in it is so impossibly stupid that it couldn't actually be canonical to the story. Except these are all real people, and remember, they all have the right to vote or be behind the wheel of a vehicle. From scamming his audience for the sake of feeding his mobile game addiction and buying all the My Little Jabroni outfits, to challenging individuals to fight on the internet only to pull out more efficiently than his parents on the night of his conception, Philip has had a history and reputation on this platform that spans back further than his hairline.
Oh my God! Bruh.
In more recent years, it seems DarkSydePhil has really turned himself around and decided to look at every day on this platform as a gift, and he regularly gives back to his fans and holds an air of positivity, except you know that I'm lying and nothing has gotten better. Honestly, I haven't even yet to crack the smallest of surfaces when it comes to DarkSydeSimp, and there's so much more about him that I've yet to cover. So let me know in the comments if you do want to see a part 2, or who you'd just like to see next. I may just give it a shot. But for now, I'll leave it there. Thank you so much for sticking around this long. Thank you to my wonderful patrons, Jessica, Joe, Pulped Milk, and George. A big shout out to my editor and channel artist. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. That'll about wrap it up though. So until next time, be well.